Alright, good day to you. My name is Promise Akilba. I'm a TES consultant. TES stands for Tutelage Educational Services. And today we'll be looking at the training module Effective Use of Google Forms for Teachers Instructional Assessment. And this is one of TES's training modules for our diploma program, Diploma in ICT Integration and Management, in affiliation with Federal College of Education, Akoka. It's a very wonderful program. If you are interested in enrolling, you can always call this number up. That's my number. You can always call me up and I'll be glad to take your inquiries. I also want to point the fact that this particular training is tailored towards teachers and educators generally, not just teachers, everyone in the educational sector. But however, if you're not a teacher, you're not an educator, I believe you still gain one or two from this training. So just sit tight and let's move on. So the training overview, we have what, why, for whom, how, and what next. The what, we'll be looking at what are Google Forms, what's all the fuss about Google Forms, why are we making noise about Google Forms, and then we'll be looking at the why should you use Google Forms, why should you learn how to use Google Forms, even as a teacher, of what use is it to you. As a teacher, what's the purpose of Google Form? Why was it created and all that? We'll also be looking at for whom. Who is it for? Who was it meant for? Who and who can use it? For what purposes? What's the range of implementation that you can use Google Forms for? So we'll also be looking at the how. That's the practical session. That's the fun part. How to use Google Form. I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to use Google Form. Now, I'd like to point out at this point that I won't be able to teach you every single thing about Google Forms, but I will teach you almost everything you need to learn to be able to make a beautiful Google Form, one that's very impressive. But however, there are many, it's always been updated time and time again, so you need to constantly go through the forms and see features that have been added and know how you can use them to better create better Google Forms. And lastly, we'll be looking at what next. We'll be treating so what next. After learning it, what next? What should I do with it? What should I do now? Many people learn things, they don't know how to implement it, they get certain skills, they don't know where to put it in. So I'll just looking at what next. Alright, so next up, what? So we're looking at what are Google Forms? Google Forms, what exactly are they? Basically, Google Form, from the word Google Forms, you can tell that it's something Google, right? Something Google. Google is a global brand. It's a global brand. For some of you who probably have Android phones, you would have seen some of these features right here. This is Gmail. This is Bing, this is Google Plus, this is Google Maps, this is YouTube symbol, this is Google Drive, this is Google Chrome, this is Play Store, this is the search. So the location. So you probably have seen many of this. I like to just point out this particular one here, right here. This is Google Drive. So some Android phones have this. Google Drive is one of Google features. Everything is integrated. Everything Google is always integrated. You have you have a Gmail, you have all this. You have access to all this. So once you have a Gmail, you have access to all this. And the beautiful thing about Google is that the features are just unending. There's a lot of things you can do just by having a Gmail account. It's not just sending emails and receiving emails. For example, this particular thing here, Google Drive, gives you the opportunity to store your documents online. You can store your documents online. You have if you have a Gmail account, you already have a space online. You don't need to do any other thing. You have close to 15 gigabytes of space. I haven't even used up to half of that. So presently, if you have a Gmail account, you have up to 15 gigabytes of space. There are other cloud spaces that give more than that, but Gmail, it's actually cool. Since it's integrated, I prefer using it actually. But I have larger files. I use things like Dropbox to do that. So but for now you can always start with Gmail. And in fact, Google Drive, there's a host of other things just in Google Drive. You can Google Forms, part of it. There's Google Word, there's spreadsheet, there's Excel. Exactly, yeah. I know you're looking at me. Word, yes, Microsoft Word. You don't really need Microsoft Word to have Word documents or Microsoft PowerPoint or Excel. Google Drive has all of that. You can do all that with or without a Microsoft account. So that being said, we just move on to what exactly I'm trying to point out. Google Form is one of the features of Google Drive. Yes, one of the features of Google Drive, and it's basically a form. You probably fill the form online or manually. So why Google Form is just a digital form, a form that requires you to be online to fill and submit online. It doesn't require a pen and a paper. That's just a Google Form online form. That's all. So next, training over why Google Form. I need to remember to always move my markings. Why Google Forms? Why Google Forms? Basically, because it's free. That's just the first thing. It's free. Google Forms are free. Of course, many people like free things. We all like free things. It's free compared to other online forms. There are many other online forms, many other platforms for you to create online forms. There's Try It Out. There's Typeform. We have Typeform. We have SurveyMonkey. So many. But the thing is that many of them aren't free. Typeform is actually free, but I still prefer Google Forms. And also Google Forms has a lot of other plugins, add-ons that are teacher friendly. There are many other things you can put into your Google Form to make it more interactive. We have things that can help you automatically grade your scores. When you give your students test assessments using Google Forms, you don't even need to mark anything. You just set it up and it grades them, sends them their grade. There are other plugins to automatically send an email when they finish the test. They can receive an automatic confirmation that they finished the test. When they finish grading, they can receive their scores in PDF to their emails. They can also have timed tests. Many things, and it's simple for students to access and use. Actually, very simple for students. All they need is just an email. Click on the link that you provide for them, and they fill up the form and goes. Very wonderful. It's interactive for students and for teachers, and it simplifies grading for teachers. I've said that before, and students can see their scores immediately they finish the test. Yeah, you do that with plugins, and it also has a lot of design. This is actually my favorite. It has beautiful themes, templates to choose from. So you don't just make a boring form. You make a very beautiful one based on the category. If it's chemistry, they have designs for chemistry, for science, for mathematics, and you can also use your own theme. We'll see all of that when we get to the practical session. We also have the forms can be accessed by 2 or more persons at a time. Yeah, many people can use one Google form. I've created a form where we had over 1,000 persons. Yeah, so moving on, and it can be used over and over again. Alright, you can stop it, you can replay it, you can re-edit. You can use it for a math class, use the same Google form for an English test, use the same Google form for your science test, and the students will still maintain the same link, always going back to that particular link. You don't need to always send them new links all the time to fill the form. They can use the same link over and over again. And Google Form also helps you do all the analysis. That's also one of the best features of it. Helps you do all the analysis, provides real-time statistics of your responses. That's just very beautiful. Look at this. It gives you something like this. Alright, so after probably 100, 200 people finish filling the form. For example, I created a form where we asked them for their sex, their gender, and then we had about 403 responses for that particular question. And you see how Google Forms helped me see that out of all the persons who filled my form, 84.4% are females and 15.6% are males. So it was actually a training. Yes, training for teachers, and that tells me that we have more females attending our trainings than males. Alright, so the colors they just show you the index, so you know which one is male, which one is female. So we also asked them, how did you get to know about this training? Hey, we had options for WhatsApp, choose it through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, through your colleagues and friends, or through others. And you can see we have like 35% telling us blue, which is WhatsApp, 34.5 colleagues and friends, and 25.4 orange, that's Facebook. So that tells us where our strengths are, through colleagues and friends, WhatsApp and Facebook. And look at this yellow one right here, Instagram. That tells us we're not really so strong on Instagram. We should probably work on that. So it just gives you beautiful. So what category of teaching do you specialize? You have preschool, primary, and basic, secondary. Hey, look at the highest here, primary. That tells us we have more primary teachers attending trainings than secondary school teachers. Secondary school teachers, you need to work on your self-development. And are you a teacher or school head or admin? You see, more teachers attend trainings than school heads. School heads don't attend so much training. So, hey, school heads and administrators, you need to work on that. So Google Form just helps you, shows you a summary of all this. Very beautiful, so you know where to work and what to work on actually. Then moving on, so for who was Google Form initially created for? I decided to add this overview because I think it's very important, so we know just how important we are. The thing is, Google Forms was initially made for teachers actually. I'll tell you the truth. Google, Microsoft, presently they are more interested in education than any other sector. Go do your research, you'll find that out. They are more interested in education than any sector. Google Forms was initially made for teachers to be able to give out tests and quizzes, efficiently, easily. So it was initially made for teachers, but over time many people started using it for other purposes. So for teachers, you can use it to give your students quizzes, tests, to invite your parents, your children for a party, a get together, end of year party, celebration, or whatever. You can also use it. Schools can use it for registration. Probably you have an event, parents and children are going to attend. You want them to register to indicate that they are coming, so you know how many parents you are actually expecting and how many children you're expecting. You can use Google Forms for all that, and also for data analysis, like I just showed you. So you know how, for example, you give a test, you can know how many of my students got to so and so question, right? For example, you give a particular test and one of the questions in the test in the Google Form is about algebra, and let's say out of 100 of your students, 50 passed. That tells you 50% of your students don't understand algebra, and you need to work on that. So gives you that kind of data analysis. And you can also use it to invite people for trainings. People can use it to register for trainings, party invites, job applications, contracts, and all that. So I got a question here. There are only two professions in the world. What are they? I know teachers will have the answers to this. Yeah, teachers and others. Yeah. So teachers are very important. So now we move to the how. I'm going to make this another training video, so you can have the training video separate and the slides separate. Alright, so we'll just move on. Don't worry, the practical session is going to be fun. I advise you, while we go through the practical session, try to get a laptop of your own and practice along with the video, so you can see it for yourself in real time. You can also use your phone to access it, although the features might be slightly different, but you will see some similarities. However, I advise you to use a desktop. You can use a phone to do Google Forms, an Android phone or a laptop. I'll however try to point out one or two things that might differ if you're using the phone, so you can catch up with the class. Sure, so I know you are really interested in me showing you how. Don't worry, if you have this slide, most likely you have also the main video slide, so don't worry, you get that. So what next? Let me just move to what next. After you finish learning, you need to practice. I can't emphasize this enough. You need to practice it. Right now I can make tons of Google Form in less than 10 minutes because I'm just used to it. I've made a lot for people, even on Viva and all that. So you need to practice. As you practice, you get better. Alright, and also try it out with your students. Give them tests occasionally, few questions just for them to just try it out. I mean, students find it fun when they have to go online and do something. I mean, school online, it always sounds very strange to them and fun. So try it out with your student. Don't be too quick to conclude that your school will reject the idea. I mean, schools are looking for how to get more money, get more parents, improve their standard, reach a certain class. So just try to bring up the suggestion, and if there's a policy against such things in your school, I don't know, just try to inform your head about it, see what she says. Don't be too quick to just say, oh, my school is not going to like the idea of me telling my students to go online. No, give it a shot. Alright, take that risk. Try to earn a residual income from this. Yeah, aside from using it with your students, there are many people who are actually looking for someone to digitize their forms for them. So you can go on fiverr.com, go on sites that pay for jobs, little job, gig sites. Just try to earn a residual income on this. Yeah, on Fiverr you can get $5 for that's close to 1.5, more than that, just creating one form. So give it a shot. Get the practical session video. I'm pretty sure you already have that, but if you don't, you only have this. Try to get the practical session video and learn. I think the practical session video will be available for those who are attending the conference coming up soon. If you will not be, you can always call this number and request for the practical session. I'll be glad to send it to you at a cost. Or you can just better still sign up for TSET diploma. Our diploma program is just 10 weeks. You will learn how to use Google Forms and a host of every other thing. Yeah, TSET is for diploma in ICT integration and management. You learn how to use Google Forms. You learn how to use a lot of Microsoft tools, Google Classroom, softwares that you can use to make your teaching more interactive, how to manage a computer and every other thing. So just try to enroll, and you can also call my number. You can also call this number for inquiries. Yeah, so you can move over to the practical session, and for this particular slide I say a big thank you.